Hey everybody, this is Mike. Welcome to Shelf Life, the monthly series where I look at games I covered about 6 or 7 months ago and let you know whether they're still in my collection. Today I'm looking at games from July of 2023, which was a really good month. I covered some awesome things this time. But before I get to that, shameless plug real quick. Our game, Flame and Fang, Peter and Mai's most recent design, the first game that we are publishing ourselves, is finally up on GameFound. I know a lot of you were waiting for this. If you didn't get to order it during the Kickstarter campaign, the GameFound page as of the airing of this should be live. You can still order it. You have until like the middle of March, so just a couple of weeks. So you got to jump on it. There is no guarantee this game will ever be in retail. We don't have retail plans yet. And there's no guarantee we'll ever have another crowdfunding campaign for it. So this might be it, except for like buying it on the aftermarket. So that's it for the shameless plug. Go check out the Flame and Fang page on GameFound. I've got it linked in the video description. But with that, let's see which games had shelf life. So first on the potential chopping block is Tales from the Red Dragon Inn versus Mini Rogue. And oh, Mike, I wonder which one you kept. Is it the game you called your favorite dungeon crawler of all time? Yes, Tales from the Red Dragon Inn is certainly still in my collection. I mean, my family still and I haven't quite finished it. My kids and I are like on scenario 18. I'm waiting until spring break or summer break to finally get the time to go through and finish the campaign. But I think I've talked about this one enough that you all know I love it. Great combat, great tactical options, amazing scenario variety, great character variety. I love the character cards that let you do cinematic combat options. The dice are forgiving and interesting. It's just awesome. I'm clearly keeping this. Whereas Mini Rogue, nope, not keeping that. I did not enjoy this one very much at all. It is a solo-only, like, little dungeon crawling game. I fully respect the design. It gets a lot done with a little bit. It does have some fun emergent storyline. I just didn't find much strategy there. I found it kind of a punishing experience. It wasn't thematic enough for me. Like, I don't mind, like, a quick kind of goofy, like, random game, but I don't know. The theme here was just kind of meh. So yeah, I just did not enjoy this one very much. That's Mini Rogue, and it's a call for me. The next matchup is Escape from Stalingrad Z versus Turing Machine. And starting with Escape from Stalingrad Z, this is a survival horror game where you're trying to escape from the city of Stalingrad when zombies and stuff attack. It has some good stuff going on. It's very tense. It has some interesting tactical play, but I did find it a bit too random, very grindy in trying to survive and get food and such. So I did not enjoy those things. I also didn't feel like the characters were different enough, but still a pretty fun game, but it was a call for me. Compare that to Turing Machine, which is a competitive or solo logical deduction game. I love this stuff. This game gives you all these like little rules, and you got to figure out why are these rules here and how do they combine together and which questions do I ask to narrow down my possibilities and solve this puzzle in the most efficient way possible. That's just catnip for me. I like logic and like deduction and cooperative and solo deductions in general, and Turing Machine is one of the best in the business for that. So this is absolutely a keeper, easily beating out Escape from Stalingrad Z for me. Next is Genshin Tarot versus City of the Great Machine. Starting with Genshin Tarot, this is a solo cooperative deck building tactical combat game. And you know, I'm realizing, I hate to say this is not on my top 100 list, and I feel like it should have been. Like, I forgot to put it in the contention. I don't know how I forgot about it. But yeah, Genshin Tarot is fabulous. This is a game I'll compare to Battle for Greyport, which is another one of my favorite like tactical deck building games. It is really thoughtful combat. It has really interesting variety in the cards and things. It is a game that I hope will have more content because right now, like, the enemies can get a little bit samey fighting against them. And also, I don't love all the boss design. And there are like a few rough points, like making sure you have enough cards where players can cooperate with each other when you're playing cooperatively. But besides that, I adore this one. I think the deck building is one of the coolest things because you basically like replace and upgrade cards instead of like bloating your deck with other cards. So yeah, I think this is an awesome tactical game if you're into that. That is Genshin Tarot, definitely keeping this one. And it's against City of the Great Machine, which sadly is going to be a call, but not because it's not an awesome game. It is really good. This is a competitive or solo co-op kind of movement. You're trying to incite a rebellion in the city or trying to stop that and lock it down. It is a really interesting movement puzzle, has really interesting kind of combos of player abilities. The different sides are quite asymmetric in a fun way. And the solo co-op mode works great. So really, I don't have any major complaints about City of the Great Machine. It was just a little bit harder for me to get to the table. Like, I don't think my kids would be able to play it. So that's the only reason it's a call, but still an awesome game. And that does mean that Genshin Tarot wins out here. And the final matchup is between Beyond the Rift, the adventure card game, and Intrepid, a dice placement cooperative game. And let's start with Intrepid. This is a survival dice placement game trying to survive these different crises. And this is a lot like City of the Great Machine. I think it does what it does really well. I think the variety in factions is great. I think playing around with the dice placement is really interesting. It just is one that's like, it takes up a ton of table space. I didn't think I was going to get it to the table easily. So this was a call. Whereas Beyond the Rift, the Perdition's Mouth adventure card game, is a keeper for me. Now, I'm a sucker for adventure card games. Y'all know that like Arkham Horror is one of my favorite games of all time. But this one does really cool stuff too. The scenarios are quite varied. The characters are super different. I love the way it does cooperation between characters. It's very thematic, but also mechanically, like with your cards, very interesting. The way they do enemies, like I just really like the mechanics of the game. I think it's brilliantly done. Now, it does have rough spots. This is one that is fairly tough to like grok the rules sometimes, and some things in the campaign can be a little bit confusing. But if you can get past those things, maybe like look on BGG for rules, questions, and answers, I think this is a fabulous game if you like adventure card games. That is Beyond the Rift, and that's a keeper over Intrepid. So there you go, not bad at all. 4 games kept out of 8, 50%. That's way better than a lot of the months I've done previously. But let's go to the contest results and see how well y'all were able to read my mind. So starting with Group 1, this one was pretty easy for almost everybody. Tales from the Red Dragon Inn got a 90% vote, one of the highest we've seen. Neither game got a 6% vote, and Mini Rogue only got 4%. Moving on to Group 2, Turing Machine. The correct answer was also the highest vote getter with 49%. Neither was close behind with 36%, and then Escape from Stalingrad Z was only 15%. And very similar result in Group 3. The correct answer, Genshin Tarot, got 42%. Neither got 38%, almost tied, and City of the Great Machine got 20%. But Group 4 is the one that ruined almost everybody. Neither got 77%. Beyond the Rift, the correct answer got 19%, and then Intrepid only got 4%. And with that final tough round, only 4 people got it right. And Stephanie Donahoe is our only Patreon supporter in the list, so she's got a double entry. We've also got Francisco Conrado, Chris Clark, and Ryan Selvaggio. And here we go! It's a 5! Which means congratulations, Stephanie, you are our big winner for the month. Thanks everybody who entered, thanks everybody for watching, and don't forget to enter the next contest. The link is in the video description. See you next time for another episode of Shelf Life.